So I was just listening to American Alchemy, and he was talking about. He has a guy on talking about alien implants, and I actually have a story about that. Um, there was a day where I was driving my dad. I stopped at my house. I was going up to the apartment. I looked on my left hand, my forearm, and there was like a little cut. And I was like, oh, how did that get there? And I went up, did my thing, started walking back down. I looked back at my hand and where the cut was, and there was like a dark thing in my arm where I just thought it was a blood clot. Went downstairs, my dad's sitting there, and he's like, why were you upstairs for so long? I thought I was up there for 2 minutes, 5 minutes at most. Um, he asked me why I was up there for so long. I was like, I wasn't. He dropped it. Days went on. I can't remember that much on how much time's passed, but I thought it was a blood clot. There was no inflammation. There was nothing going on. And then it started, I could feel it vibrating in my arm, and it vibrated in my arm and throughout my body. Um, I just didn't think about it. I left it. One day I was playing with a magnet and I went over it and it was magnetized, which is weird. Then I thought I wasn't thinking about an implant or anything. I just thought it was magnetic because my blood had clotted and there was iron in my blood, and maybe that was pulling on it. And then I actually just found someone talking about alien implants, and yeah, I left it in my arm for a good 7 years. 3 years of that seven, the first 3 years, it would vibrate here and there. I can't even explain it. It would just start vibrating. I would, like, I don't think I ever touched it while it was vibrating. It just felt like it was vibrating, or a frequency in my body. And I eventually got it removed. I actually have it at my house. I got it removed. Whether the doctor gave it to me, I think he did give it back to me. It was like, it looked like a piece of metal. He left it in alcohol. I still have it at home. It looked like a piece of metal. 2 years goes by, maybe a year goes by. I look at it again and it like exploded open. It looks almost white. I'm gonna have to look at it again. But yeah, I had something in my arm that vibrated, that was magnetic. I don't know what it was. Still to this day, I don't know. My dad, I had asked him if he remembers, and he kind of said, yeah, but if I'm upstairs for 2 to 5 minutes, he's not really going to say anything. If I'm upstairs for like a half an hour, he might be like, why were you up? I would, knowing my dad, he would then say something. So for him to say, why were you upstairs for so long, only makes me think that I have some time loss. And then on top of that, I was never a jumpy person. And now, if I'm not aware of the person around me and some person just comes out, I always jump. I always jump. I don't know where that comes from. So that's my story on this thing in my arm. It was never caused my arm to be inflamed. I know that there was a cut on my arm before I went upstairs, and then when I was walking back downstairs, there was something in my arm that just, as to me, it looked like a blood clot. And as I say, it was magnetic. It vibrated throughout my whole body. Sometimes it was just my arm, and sometimes it would just vibrate throughout my whole body. And it was, yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. It's just interesting. There could be a reason for it that makes sense, or yeah, it could be an alien implant that for some reason was put into my body. There was things going on in my life at that time. There was another story of either me hallucinating the pizza delivery guy from Domino's. I either hallucinated that his eyes turned a little reptilian. Was before this whole, I think it was before this whole implant, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's my story. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an alien implant, but it was something foreign that came into my body. My body did not react to it. That's why I thought it was part of my body. And it was a deposit of iron that maybe my body just pushed in there. And yeah, but it did vibrate. There could be a scientific reason for all this, but I don't know. But after listening to that American Alchemy with Jesse Michaels, I started thinking about it again, and yeah, that's my story.